Right now at noon, a warm-up is in sight. If we can just get through today, what you need to know about the final day of this extreme cold streak. That's today at noon.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Thursday, day 4, I guess, when you count the snow day on Monday. Dave Caulfield is here now to tell us it's actually going to warm up.
Yes, a big temperature swing is on the way, especially as we get closer to Sunday and Monday. We could be talking about temperatures about 65 to 70 degrees warmer compared to where we were this morning. And boy, oh boy, were we bitterly cold this morning. 26, the low temperature below zero in Madison, 37 below in Lone Rock, minus 30 in the Dells, and minus 36 in Boscobel. Right now, those temperatures have warmed up a little bit thanks to some sunshine this morning. But the clouds are on the increase in Madison. We're at minus 13 with a calm wind, so that's what the wind chill feels like as well. Up to minus 12 in Lone Rock, minus 14 in the Dells, and minus 11 in Janesville. Winds are not too bad, which is good news, but really any sort of wind with temperatures like this are making it feel closer to minus 25 in Mineral Point and minus 30 in Platteville. So that wind chill warning has expired. However, a wind chill advisory is still in effect for the counties you see shaded in blue until 3 p.m. this afternoon. Then those wind chills will actually get a lot more bearable as we get into later this afternoon. So still feeling like about minus 10 to minus 20 throughout the day, and temperatures will max out right around minus 4. But we do have to watch out for a little bit of snow possible later this afternoon and evening, just in time for that evening commute. I'll have details on that, plus that big warm up on the way in your first alert forecast.
Not a lot of snow, but enough to make slippery.
Yeah.
Because there's already ice on a lot of the roads.
Exactly. So. And it's so cold that once that snow hits the ground, it can cause some problems. So.
Great. Looking forward to the weekend.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave. We'll see you in a few minutes. For the second day in a row, the extreme cold caused power outages here in southern Wisconsin. Alliant Energy has restored power to homes in or near Paoli, Montfort, Rui, and Belmont. Alliant says the outage was caused by an ATC transmission line going out, which then shut down 3 substations serving those areas. And layers will still be needed if you plan to head outside this afternoon. UW Health has had 7 cases of frostbite as of yesterday at midnight. Frostbite is your body's way of protecting your inner organs, like your heart, by cutting off circulation to your extremities like your feet, hands, and nose. The cold is impacting several states, stretching from the upper Midwest to Maine. 11 people have died as a result of the cold. Some shops in Hilldale Mall will remain closed today following a water main break. Management noticed the water yesterday morning flowing over the road near Motherhood Maternity. It did not get into any stores. Shoppers are advised to check the mall's website to check on store closures. East and Westtown Mall are back open. They opened just a couple of minutes ago at noon today. The same with Johnson Creek Outlet Mall and the Janesville Mall. The Madison Police Department is suspending much of its parking enforcement. Alternate side parking has been suspended until Friday at 1. However, you will need to pay for street parking this afternoon. Meters are back to being monitored today. They were struggling to work properly in the cold, allowing people to park at meters without paying. Madison zookeepers are working to keep the animals safe at the Henry Vila Zoo. All the animals are being kept inside. A few, like the bison and the polar bear, are made for the cold, but that doesn't mean they don't need some help.
Even though their wild counterparts should be able to withstand it, we also do our due diligence to make sure that anybody in the zoo that isn't able to, hunker down in a den or something like that is given all of the proper tools to make them as comfortable as possible.
The zoo is open to the public during the cold weather. They just ask that visitors stay safe and plan ahead. You can monitor the conditions outside by downloading our Channel 3000 weather and traffic app. It's free in your phone's app store. In other news, the administration for Governor Evers and the Foxconn Technology Group say the company's Wisconsin project will move forward. The project could employ up to 13,000 people. Both sides say they are working together amid reports that Foxconn is changing the direction of the Wisconsin plant in favor of making it a research hub. The head of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation says there have been no attempts to renegotiate the Foxconn contract. President Trump is offering support to Venezuela's opposition leader, Juan Guaido. Guaido declared himself president following a much disputed election. Venezuelans are protesting Nicolas Maduro, who won a second term as president in what many call a rigged election. The country has suffered food shortages, failed public services, and corruption under the Maduro regime. But Maduro has retained power in large part because the military is behind him, something Guaido is hoping to change. The U.S. officially recognizes Guaido as the legitimate leader of Venezuela. Tomorrow, Vice President Mike Pence will travel to Miami to meet with Venezuelan exiles. The EU also voted today to recognize Juan Guaido as the leader of Venezuela. And with more than 1 million people headed to Atlanta for Super Bowl 53 this weekend, a massive security team has been working to make sure fans stay safe. Mola Lengi explains some of the precautions in place.
7 miles of fencing rings Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. There are bomb-sniffing dogs. Every arriving truck gets an X-ray inspection. And a Black Hawk helicopter patrols the 30-mile no-fly zone around the stadium. More than 40 government agencies are taking part in security operations.
For the outer perimeter to prevent an attack by vehicle, you'll see sanitation trucks, cement barriers, water-filled barricades, anything that will stop a vehicle from crashing into the crowd.
Homeland Security officials say there is no known threat against the Super Bowl, but its high-profile status automatically makes it a potential target. There's also security we can't see. A massive cyber attack last year crashed the city's computers for 2 weeks. It was so disruptive, police officers making traffic stops couldn't run license plates. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms says Atlanta's security systems will all be backed up in case an attack were to happen.
It was waking up from a nightmare. To know that our systems have been taken down in the city.
She says the city is more prepared for a cyber attack now than it was a year ago. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Atlanta.
And there will also be extra security at Atlanta's airport, the world's busiest. A record 120,000 people expected to pass through security at the airport on Monday, the day after the game. That's double the typical number. And Maroon 5 headlines this year's Super Bowl halftime show. Special guests include Travis Scott, Big Boy, and possibly a surprise or two. This year's show comes with some controversy as some big-name entertainers reportedly turned down the chance to play over how the NFL has handled the national anthem kneeling debate. The NFL has also canceled its annual press conference with the halftime act this year. And there's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Who will you be cheering for during this weekend's big game? If you serve what we're making today, I bet your gang will be rooting for this all-time winner. When it comes to the big game this weekend, no matter who you're cheering on, or if you're just watching it for the commercials, you know you're going to work up an appetite. So this year, along with your chips and dip, make sure you have something that'll satisfy the hungriest of appetites. How about melty roast beef sliders? We begin by slicing a package of Hawaiian-style rolls in half like this and smearing both sides with a container of refrigerated garlic herb spread. This is going to add lots of flavor. Now we pile on some thinly sliced deli roast beef and top it with roasted red peppers. Just make sure you drain them well, and some sliced provolone. Sprinkle on some steak seasoning and top the whole thing with crispy fried onions. Put the top on and cover it with foil. About 20 minutes before it's time to serve, pop it in the oven to get all melty. Put these out during halftime and watch everyone dig in. The nice thing about these, they're just the right size. To get the recipe for our game day roast beef sliders, so you can earn the title of Best Game Day Host, just visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a winning way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. We are on the upswing of the extreme cold. Dave is talking about a much warmer weekend next in the First Alert Forecast. Well, GE is putting a years-old problem to rest, and we're going over the cost of Super Bowl commercials. Here's Diane King Hall with today's Money Watch report.
GE finally puts the subprime crisis in its rearview mirror. The company agreed to pay $1.5 billion to settle the Justice Department's investigation into WMC Mortgage, the subprime lender it formerly owned, which shut down in 2007. Meanwhile, GE swung to a profit of $574 million in its fourth quarter. Tesla shook up Wall Street with news that its CFO is leaving. The electric car maker also reported a weaker than expected profit of $139 million. Purdue Pharma filed a motion yesterday to block the release of an investigation into the company's part in the opioid epidemic. Massachusetts is suing Purdue Pharma for allegedly creating the epidemic through deceit. Recently released redacted sections of a lawsuit show the maker of the painkiller OxyContin allegedly explored expanding into the anti-addiction market while trying to boost sales of the addictive drug. Super Bowl Sunday is not just about the big game. It is also game day for advertising. And a 30-second spot doesn't come cheap. In the last decade, prices have practically doubled. This year, industry data shows CBS, the game's rights holder, is charging a record $5.25 million on average. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And it's residential. All right, Diane, thank you. At the noon hour, the Dow Industrials down 54 points. The NASDAQ up 96. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn this week. So here are your farm numbers. Time now for the weather. Dave, how do you spell relief?
Well, R-E-L-I-E-F. Hopefully I got that right. Didn't expect that question, but we are spelling it by the time we get to this weekend, so we do have a little bit of time. And there we go. I mean, maybe you just got to close your eyes at this cold. Maybe that's your solution to get through it. And this morning, I know a lot of us are maybe still sleeping when these temperatures were being recorded. 26 below in Madison, 39 below the low in Lone Rock, 30 below in the Dells, and minus 29 in Janesville. Just unbelievable cold. Now, in Madison, we didn't get on our record list for the coldest temperatures ever recorded, just below that, in fact, but it was still plenty cold, nowhere near the record set on yesterday's date in 1951 of minus 37. But still, we are talking about historic cold because it hit minus 26 again for the low, and that makes 2 straight days of temperatures at minus 25 or colder in Madison. That's only the 7th time in Madison's recorded history that we've had 2 straight days of temperatures below minus 25. Now, the longest streak of that actually happened in 1994, where we had 3 straight days of low temperatures of minus 27. Ouch. So hopefully we can leave this in the rearview mirror and not come back for quite some time. Now, I know there were a couple of questions online about the longest streak of days or hours below zero. Believe it or not, in 1912, we had 9 straight days where the temperature stayed below zero. So, and that can stay in 1912, if you ask me. Now, just because we had these very, very cold temperatures doesn't buck the trend that we've been seeing over the last 30 or 40 years or so, even 50 years, because our lowest annual temperature since 1970 has actually gone up about 10 degrees. In fact, before we got these temperatures in the minus 20 range, it had been about 20 years since we saw a temperature below minus 20, and about 25 years in Madison since we saw a temperature below minus 25. So just because we have these cold weather numbers now does not really excuse climate change as a whole. Now, temperatures right now are in the minus 10 to minus 15 range, minus 13 in Madison, minus 12 in the Dells. Wind chills pretty close to what the thermometer is suggesting, but if you get any semblance of a wind in weather like this, it does feel like minus 25. So we still do have a wind chill advisory, in effect, until 3 for all the counties you see shaded in blue here. Downtown Madison, the Edgewater Skycam. We've noticed the clouds on the increase over the past couple of hours. Forecast high today of -4. That's still about 30 degrees below normal. But the warm-up is on the way. About a 70-degree temperature swing between what we experienced this morning, -26, to what we will experience by Sunday afternoon. And that setup is a classic one for some foggy weather. So this weekend, yes, temperatures will be warmer, but it's not necessarily going to be go out and sunbathe warmer, because we will have the clouds with us. A little bit of rain and drizzle is possible, and that fog as well. Now, future tracks showing the chances of some snow by the time we get to the evening commute, and that should be wrapping up by later on tonight, but still about an inch to possibly even 2 inches of snow. Highest amounts will be closer to the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, and you can see those temperatures really warming up quickly as we get into Friday and Saturday, and the clouds do come along with that. So at least we can look forward to temperatures well above 0 and actually above freezing as we get into Saturday and Sunday, but we do have some rain chances and some freezing drizzle possible late on Saturday into early Sunday, and then some accumulating snow could come our way once again by next Tuesday. So definitely a weather roller coaster on the way over the next week, Mark.
Yes, buckle up, that's for sure. All right, Dave, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Marissa DeGroat from the Dane County Humane Society will join us after the break with this little girl, Tansy. Oh, dear. We'll find out about her when we come back. Marissa DeGroat from the Dane County Humane Society is here with Tansy. Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
Tell us about this little girl.
Does it get any cuter than this?
Those ears.
Oh my gosh. So Tansy here is about 2 to 3 months old, and she's a Staffordshire Terrier mix, which means she has a lot of growing to do.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, do that sound again.
But I love her little ears. Those perky little ears are just adorable.
She's going to be a big girl.
She really is. She has a lot of growing to do, and she's going to be a big girl and probably pretty active too. So she's looking for a family that, you know, wants to get out and run around and get lots of playtime in.
But you said she's crating well?
Yeah, you know, I haven't spent a ton of time with her, but the time I have spent, she's not really kind of a barky puppy. And like most puppies, she's going to play hard, but she is going to crash hard too.
Yeah.
And she will just be a snuggler then.
And right now she's got the puppy, you know, chewing on everything, especially fingers.
Yep, she is exploring the world with her mouth.
Right, that's how they learn.
But I think she's going to learn so much and bring so much joy to your house.
Yeah, she is just a character.
You know, and a lot of people maybe don't think about Dane County Humane Society with puppies. They know we will have a lot of older dogs, a lot of those adults, but we really do get a lot of puppies in.
No bite. All right, Sunday, big Super Bowl weekend.
Yep, and we're gearing up for the Puppy Bowl, too.
It's even better.
Yep, and so this Sunday, you can join us at Beer Rock. They're going to be showing the Puppy Bowl, and from 2 to 10 p.m., they're going to be donating 10% of sales to Dane County Humane Society.
That'll probably just transition into the actual Super Bowl if they're going to be open until 10.
Exactly, yep, so catch the Puppy Bowl, the Super Bowl, and it all benefits animals in need.
All right, last week, we had
Coco,
the
our
guinea
little
pig?
guinea pig, and he did get adopted. We're so excited for him.
Coco! All right, now let's get Tansy home. All right. Be good.
Here we
Be a
go.
good girl. All right, go to the website, giveshelter.org for information on Tansy and all the critters. 838-0413. Stay warm, Marissa. Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
Dave has one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, this afternoon, temperatures will be near -4. Light snow will be developing during the afternoon and evening hours. Wind chills will be about -10 to -25, but those temperatures go under a big swing as we get into this weekend. Highs will be in the low 40s with some rain showers. Could be some freezing rain at times, and then some accumulating snow possible by the time we get to next Tuesday.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. Hang in there one more day. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.